What's up, y'all? Today's video, this was actually a request of one of my brothers. He's really the one who always was encouraging me to get into this gun world. Never lost my rights or anything like that. And he always told me to take advantage of the freedoms that I had. So today's video will be about my journey to become a gunsmith. My journey to become a gunsmith was an interesting one and somewhat impractical. For starters, I was a late bloomer to the whole two-way community. I grew up in a gun-free household, and although I did buy my first gun at 21, which was a camouflage pocket rocket 25 ACP, I used to call it Baby Ruckus, but I didn't really get into guns heavily until my 40s. Shocker. But with my late start, one thing about me, when I get into something, I really get into it. In 2021, I came across the Marine Gun Builder's channel on YouTube, and I used to watch his tutorials on how he puts together the P80s. And not only did he put them together well, but he had them running reliably. And this was before YouTube changed their guidelines on firearms. Me being a quick learner, after watching his tutorials a few times, I think I want to try one myself. I joined a Reddit group with a P80 community. We would discuss our builds, or they would post pictures, post videos of them at the range, testing out the guns, things like that. And I would ask questions on where to get good parts for the internals, things like that. I was just in there like a sponge, you know, soaking up all the information I could get. And that was also the start of me as a gun tuber. I wasn't afraid to show my builds, you know, any failures, if I embarrassed myself or whatever. I showed everything I did. The first P80 build that I did, I showed the footage of me at the range. And I mean, like, one thing about looking at my old footage, I'm gonna tell you now, my form was terrible. But I'm gonna put the link to that video in case y'all want to see a little bit of my earlier days, my start, you know. And to make a long story shorter, I'll just say this. From me asking questions, by my third build, the people that I was asking questions were then asking me questions on how mine ran so well. And all my videos of all my Polymer 80 builds, just building them initially, you can see all of them ran well. Now I will be the first to say, building P80 kits, it's not gunsmithing, but it did give me the confidence to go inside other guns and do things like changing triggers, changing the controls, things like that. The first trigger change I did was on my M18. You see this gold trigger? Got the gold gas pedal to match, but that was the first trigger change I ever did, my M18. Then I changed the trigger on my P365 and the controls. Did that. And one thing about the P320s and the P365, changing that trigger is not like changing the Glock trigger. And that's when somebody first said to me, "Oh, you doing some real gunsmithing over there?" And I was like, "Wow, everything I was doing, I was following tutorials. I'll be honest with you. I even put the tandem cross victory trigger in my Ruger 5.7. Even if you look at the tutorial on how to do this, this is one of the more difficult trigger changes to do, especially for somebody like me. But like I said, when I get into something, I really get into it. But what really pushed me more than anything is I had no idea what I was doing. I was just following tutorials, you know, and I was following it to the T. Outside of that, I didn't know anything I may be doing in particular. I also understood how serious firearms are, and although they can be fun and you can enjoy putting the kits together and all that, it also is dangerous. So I wanted to learn more. I wanted to have more information on what it was that I was able to do. So a friend of mine told me to check to see if I was still eligible for any type of financial aid. I was telling him about how I was looking at the SDI. I was watching a lot of other gun tubers. I was seeing the promotions for SDI, Sonoran Desert Institute, and I decided to look into it. Now the reviews on SDI are mixed, but for me it was great. I went from not knowing little to nothing about firearms to being an actual gunsmith, working in my career career field in 3 years. SDI did a lot for me. For the SDI experience, it has to be something that you are passionate about and something that you want to do. You are not in a school setting. There's nobody on your back. You know, it's online schooling, so you're at home. You got your assignments that need to be turned in by certain times on certain days. The professors, from my experience, they will work with you, you know, as long as you communicate it. You had to keep yourself motivated. And with SDI being an accredited college, along with the gunsmithing, you still have the regular curriculum like math, English. There's a lot of writing that has to be done while you're in SDI. You know, there are a lot of video projects or video assignments, and they're short videos. They have limits on the length of the video as far as time wise. The longest video that I ever had to do, it was like under 7 minutes it had to be, or under 8 minutes, something like that, just to let you know. But there is a lot of writing, and being, again, like I said, that it is an accredited college, the writing has to be on a collegiate level. So keep that in mind if you do think about going the SDI route. I just want to put that out there. Also, SDI is not inexpensive. You know, there's a nice cost to go along with it, but they will send you enough tools to get you started in the career as a gunsmith. And some of the tools will probably last your entire career. All types of files, like every file you may need, stones for stoning, gunsmithing screwdrivers, a cleaner kit that's able to clean every caliber. Oh, and with that cost, you do get guns. At the end of the gunsmithing program, that's where I did the AR build, the AR-9. Taurus 856 revolver, a PSA dagger, and a SAR B6, along with the muzzle loader that we had to build as one of the assignments also. Overall, you know, 5 guns, and there are other programs that can be taken. They have a 1911 program where you do get a 1911 with that. They have shotgun programs. You can get a shotgun with that. They have the AR-15, AR-10, things like that. You do get guns, but it's not inexpensive. It's not cheap. You understand me? But for those who really have a passion for firearms and are self-motivated, I would encourage you to look into the world of gunsmithing. This lane is wide open. I am the only gunsmith in my city. That's just to give you an understanding. It's room, and there is money to be made. So join me in the world of gunsmithing. Also, you see how AI is coming in, changing the whole workforce and workspace. AI is taking a lot of people's jobs. In the world of gunsmithing, it really makes us more valuable because the most prestigious guns are usually hand-fitted, handmade, things like that. It's that human touch, the little element of error, the blemish that still just makes everything work perfect, you know, just that touch of man. So keep that in mind. Again, like I say, the lane is open. AI can duplicate the same thing over and over. We give touch to make every gun unique to its owner. So that's my journey of what brought me into the world of gunsmithing. I hope you enjoyed it. And also my assignments, the video assignments, I have them all on the channel under its own playlist titled My SDI Experience. And I'll post it at the end, you know, in case y'all are interested in seeing what the SDI experience is like when it comes to the video assignments that have to be turned in. And that's what it is, y'all. Until next time, Mega Guns, ThinkMegaTV, think greater than, and above all, be responsible. Bang, bang.